So you're looking for a career that's more than just a job, right? Something with real pride, with purpose? Well, you've definitely come to the right place. Today we're going to break down everything you need to know about joining the Sasha Seema Ball as a constable.
We're diving straight into the source, the official 2023 notification. Now, I know these things can look super complicated, all that dense language and fine print, but don't you worry. Our job here is to decode this whole thing for you and turn it into a simple step-by-step guide. So, the big question is, are you ready to see if this is the right move for you? A respected government career serving the nation is a huge opportunity. So let's get right into the details. Okay, first things first. Let's look at the opportunity itself. What kinds of jobs are actually on the table? And, what's the deal with pay and benefits?
And this is pretty cool. It's not just one single role they're hiring for. The SSB is recruiting for a whole range of skilled trades. We're talking drivers, cooks, water carriers, and a bunch of other specialized posts. As you can see, there are hundreds of positions available all across the country, so this is a pretty big deal.
Now let's talk about the money, because that's important, right? The financial security here is a major draw. You're starting at what's called pay level 3, so your basic pay is going to be somewhere between 21,700 and 69,100 rupees. But that's not all. On top of that, you get all the standard government allowances, things like dearness, ration money, house rent, the whole shebang. When you add it all up, it becomes a really solid competitive package. All right, so you know what's on offer. Now for the most important part, figuring out if you're the right fit. Let's break down the core eligibility criteria.
It really just boils down to 4 fundamental things. Think of it like a checklist. First, your nationality. Second, your age, which varies by post. Third, your education. A 10th pass is the minimum. And fourth, for a lot of these roles, you'll need some specific trade skills or experience. Simple as that.
Okay, this is where you really got to pay close attention because the requirements change for each post. It's not one size fits all. For instance, if you want to be a driver, you need to be between 21 and 27 and have a heavy vehicle driving license. But for a veterinary role, the age is 18 to 25 and you need a 10th pass with science. For tradesmen, it's usually matriculation plus some work experience or an ITI certificate. The key takeaway here is to match your age and qualifications precisely to the post you're eyeing. So what if you look at the age limit and think, oh man, I'm just a little over? Well, hang on, don't lose hope just yet. The government has age relaxations for certain categories. SC and ST candidates get an extra 5 years. OBC candidates get 3 years. There are even provisions for ex-servicemen. So you have to check this table very carefully. You might still be in the game. All right, so if you've ticked all the eligibility boxes, that is fantastic. Now let's get practical and walk through the online application process step by step. It's a pretty straightforward 4-step process. First, you head to the official website, www.ssbcrect.gov.in. Second, you register your profile and fill out the form. And please, be super careful and accurate here. Third, you'll upload your photo and signature. Just make sure they meet the size requirements they list. And finally, you pay the fee online and hit that submit button. Following these 4 steps exactly is your key to a successful application. Speaking of the fee, let's clear that up. It's a non-refundable 100 rupees for unreserved, EWS, and OBC candidates. But, and this is great news, if you fall under the SC, ST, or ex-serviceman categories, or for all female applicants, the fee is completely waived. Yep, totally free. So your application is in. What happens next? Well, this is where the real challenge begins. It's a tough 5-stage selection process. Let's break down this path to success. Think of it like 5 major hurdles you have to clear, one right after the other. You can't skip any. You start with the physical efficiency test and the physical standard test. Pass those, and you move on to the written exam. Then comes documentation and a skill test, and the final hurdle is the detailed medical examination. You've got to clear each one to get to the next. That very first test, the PET, is all about your physical endurance. For male candidates, you have to run 4.8 kilometers in 24 minutes. For female candidates, it's a 2.4 kilometer run within 18 minutes. And there's no way around it. You absolutely have to meet these timings to proceed. Right after the PET, you'll go through the physical standard test, or PST. This is where they'll measure your height and your chest for male candidates to make sure you meet the minimum physical build required for the force. The specific standards can vary a bit depending on your community and the post you've applied for. Okay, once you're through the physical tests, it's time to face the academic challenge.
the Common Entrance Test. It's a 2-hour, 100-mark exam with 100 multiple-choice questions on things like general knowledge, math, reasoning, and general English or Hindi. And pay close attention to this. You need to score at least 50% for general categories and 45% for SC/ST to stay in the running.
We're almost at the end. But before we wrap up, let's cover some crucial rules from the fine print. You know, the kind of stuff that can help you avoid simple mistakes that could get your whole application thrown out.
Okay, pay very close attention here. 1. Do not apply for more than one post. Just pick one. 2. Don't submit an incomplete application. Double-check everything. 3. Never, ever provide false information. 4. No calculators, no phones in the exam hall. Just don't do it. And 5. Don't forget to bring your original documents for verification when they ask for them. Seriously, breaking any of these rules can lead to immediate disqualification.
And there you have it. That's your complete roadmap for the SSB Constable recruitment process. With this guide, you now have the knowledge, you have the clarity to tackle the application and the selection process with total confidence. So the only question left is, are you ready to take that next step towards your future?